Good morning, children. Children, welcome the new day with smile on your face, love in your heart and good thoughts in your mind. So children, let's start the new lesson of our literature book, that is lesson number 4, and the name of the lesson is Set Our Children Free. Lesson number 4, Set Our Children Free. This speech is a powerful argument made by the Nobel Prize winner Kailash Satyarthi. It opens our eyes and draws our attention towards the piteous condition of some of our fellow human beings here, children. Before proceeding the lesson, let's talk about Kailash Satyarthi. Kailash Satyarthi was born in the Vidisha district of Madhya Pradesh in 1954. After completing an electrical engineering degree, he worked as a teacher in the area. In 1980, he left teaching and founded the organization Bachpan Bachao Andolan, which has freed thousands of children from slave-like conditions. He has also been active in a wide range of other organizations working against child labor and for children's rights to education. Kailash Satyarthi is married and he has a son and a daughter. Let's talk something more about his work. As we know, much of the world's population, especially in poor countries, is made up of children and young people. To achieve a peaceful world, it is crucial that the rights of children and young people be respected. Following the tradition of Mahatma Gandhi, Indian activist Kailash Satyarthi has waged a peaceful struggle to stop children being exploited as labor instead of attending the school. He has also contributed to the development of international conventions on the rights of children, as he is very much concerned with the piteous condition of the poor children and the needy human beings. So children, pay attention. Let's proceed with the reading of the lesson. Page number 28. Your Majesties, Your Royal Majesties, Royal Highnesses, my dear daughter Malala, dear brother Tom Harkin, and my sisters and brothers. Friends, the Nobel Committee has generously invited me to present a lecture. Respectfully, I am unable to do that because I am representing here the sound of silence, the cry of innocence, and the face of invisibility. I represent millions of those children who are left behind, and that's why I have kept an empty chair here as a reminder. I have come here only to share the voices and dreams of our children, because they are all our children. 20 years ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, I met a small skinny child laborer. He asked me, "Is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" 12 years ago, a child mother from the streets of Colombia asked me this. I have never had a dream. Can my child have one? Friends, all the great religions teach us to care for children. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me. Do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." The Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty, Friends, there is no longer greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Here, Kailash Satyarthi, an Indian child rights activist and the founder of the Bachpan Bachao Andolan, and the deeply concerned for the less fortunate ones, started his powerful speech by giving special reference to all the majesties. A young activist of Pakistan, Malala Yousafzai, who while a teenager spoke out publicly against the prohibition on the education of girls that was imposed by TTP. Tom Harkin, an American politician, lawyer, and author who was created the Child Labor Deterrence Act and was first proposed in the US, and all the other activists who are working for those who need help and attention but do not get it, especially for the child labor in global form. He says that the Nobel Committee, what is a Nobel Committee? It's a working body responsible for most of the work involved in selecting Nobel Prize laureates, or a committee that is responsible for selecting Nobel Prize laureates or winners, bountifully invited him to present a lecture, but he could not do that. Instead of giving a lecture, he represented the sound of silence, means the sound of those who need help and attention but do not get it, and represented the millions of faces, those who have been neglected, and shared the dreams of the children, those who are in piteous condition like child laborer. He remembered some painful encounters that he had faced. He says, 20 years ago, in the foothills of the Himalayas, he met a small skinny child laborer who asked him, "Is the world so poor that it cannot give me a toy and a book, instead of forcing me to take a gun or a tool?" What a painful question. Children, really, you all are blessed that you are having the good parents, your financial condition is also good, and having books means you are getting your education in one of the reputed school, and number of toys are there with you to play. He remembered one more painful encounter that he had faced. He says that 12 years ago he met a child mother from the streets of Colombia who asked him, "I have never had a dream. Can my child have one?" Oh, once again, a painful question which is related with the poor condition of child mother. A very painful question was put in front of him. It was very bitter for Kailash Satyarthi because of his love for children and concern for the less fortunate ones, means as he was deeply concerned with towards the piteous condition of some of our fellow human beings. Then he focused that all the great religions teach us to care for our children, and he focused upon the teaching of the holy books, the Bible and the Quran. In the Bible, Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to them." Means, the kingdom of God belongs to the children and those who are innocent and pure in heart like children. The Holy Quran says, "Kill not your children because of poverty." Means, do not kill your children because of poverty, as they are precious. So children, let's proceed with the reading of the next page, that is page number 29. Starting from the first line of the first para. Therefore, I refuse to accept that all the temples and mosques and churches and prayer houses have no place for the dreams of our children. I refuse to accept that the world is so poor when just 1 week of global military expenditure can bring all the children to classrooms. I refuse to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are unable to protect our children. I refuse to accept that the shackles of slavery can ever be stronger than the quest for freedom. I refuse to accept my only aim in life is that every child is free to be a child, free to grow and develop, free to eat, sleep and see daylight, free to laugh and cry, free to play and learn, free to go to school, and above all, free to dream. I have the privilege of working with many courageous people who have the same aim. We have never given up against any threat or attack, and we never will. We have made progress in the last couple of decades, but let us make no mistake, great challenges still remain. Friends, the biggest challenge or biggest crisis knocking on the doors of humankind is fear and intolerance. Rights, security and hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala, I have started calling her my daughter Malala, not just Malala. So my daughter Malala and other daughters including Kainat, in fact 2 Kainats and Shazia, and the daughters from Africa and from all over the world, they are rising up and choosing peace over violence, tolerance over extremism and courage over fear. According to Kailash Satyarthi, there is no greater violence than to deny the dreams of our children. Means, if we are denying the dreams of the innocent poor children, then we are involving ourselves in a great violence, which is the biggest one. Therefore, he is not ready to accept that all the religious places like churches, mosques and prayer houses have no place for the dreams of the children. Means, there is no importance for children and their future, and the world is so poor to bring all the children to the classroom. Means, the world is so poor to help all the children to avail their most important right, that is right to education. The world where only 1 week of the money spent on maintaining the armed forces can bring the children to the classroom, and he is not ready to accept that all the laws and constitutions, police and judges are not capable to protect their children from the harm, and as well as he is not ready to accept that the shackles of slavery means the chains of slavery can never be stronger than the search for freedom of children. His aim in life is that every child should be free. Every child should be free to be a child. Free to grow and develop means we're free to grow in a healthy atmosphere and develop. Free to eat, sleep, and see daylight means every child should be free to see the daylight without any bondage. Free to laugh and cry means enjoy their childhood. Free to play and learn. Free to go to school, and above all. And he says that so many courageous people are accompanied with him who have the same aim. They have never given up against any threat or attack and never will. They have made progress in the last couple of decades, but still they are facing great challenges. Still, so many great challenges are there in their aim. The biggest challenge or biggest crisis of the present time is fear and intolerance of humankind. Rights, security, and hope can only be restored through education. Young people like Malala, whom he called his daughter, and some other activists, two Kainats, Shazia, and all the other daughters from Africa and all over the world, they are rising up and choosing peace over violence, tolerance over extremism. Extremism means ideas that are not normal, reasonable or acceptable to most people, but not by almost all people. And courage over fear means some of the many courageous people are there who are there with him with the same aim. And in this powerful argument, Kailash Satyarthi is motivating the people all over the world to have tolerance and to draw their attention towards the piteous condition of the needy people, especially the children, and not to ignore them, to come forward and join their hands for this noble task. So children, we will stop here only, and in the second part we will continue with the explanation.